ready?
First, I'd like to say peace to the gods.
Welcome
To Truth Tuesday with your host, Akiem.
He knows more than you can imagine.
You got to get your mind right.
the truth.
The truth is, you got to get your paperwork in order. The truth is,
Hindsight Radio.
I'm listening, but are they listening?
Hindsight Radio.
What you talking about? Okay. What about Tuesday? Yo, Akiem, pick me up. Yo, turn that on, son.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please hold and you'll be able to listen to the show.
That's live.
Hindsight Radio.
The truth is Tuesday.
With your host, Akiem L. The truth.
All right, we're about to start. Trying to wait for a few more people to get in. While we're waiting on that, this is the new track my brother made for the station. I'm telling you, the boy is nice. He got skills. Who's in the chat? All right, we got Michael Payne, peace. Truzilla, that's my brother who made this track. He made about 3 or 4. Curtis Williams, Karen Israel, as always. Happy Tuesday. Curtis Williams, peace. Queen Princessa Bay. Greetings. Chief Lemieux L. Who else? 88's Trust, peace. Amexa Moore, Beth, peace. Michael Payne again. He is. He's nice with the intros. Intro music. Yeah. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. I'm gonna let it play in the background. So, today we're gonna talk about jurisdiction. And we're gonna use Trinity versus Pagliari to help you understand jurisdiction. I've used this as a teaching method before, plenty of times, but you know, as years go by and you learn things, you start to see things with a different consciousness, a different eye. You know, so I got the video, the Trinity versus Pagliari video. I'm gonna pull up and I'm gonna let it play out and break it down. Because I think people are still having a tough time figuring out about this jurisdiction. It's all jurisdiction. But before I go into this evening's teachings, um, I got to do my mind science. I got to do my ministry, what I'm supposed to do. I got to do that first. So first and foremost, I want to thank everybody for tuning in this evening. Thank um um everybody supporting this station. Going on what 6 years now, 5 to 6 years. I'm thankful for that. Um, I'm thankful for all the people that take the teachings and run with it and do stuff with it. I was talking to somebody today. They just started in the membership, and they're already just about complete with their POA, their passport, and so much other stuff. They just on it, not wasting any time. See, you could do this stuff in record time if you just put your mind to it and do it. And that's the issue why a lot of us are not successful. We say we want success, but we're not willing to sacrifice time and effort to do it. We're so used to just doing things just the usual way. And as long as it's not giving you a problem, you keep doing it. But soon as go into those systems and you run into a problem, then y'all want to come to me or someone else at the final hour to get it fixed. And the information has been right in front of you the whole time. See, the final hour is not the time to try to get a proper defense for anything. Whether it be your business or court case or anything. It's not, you're supposed to prepare, you're supposed to study, get your mind right. And our job as I believe your job here is always to seek higher knowledge. Life gets pretty dull for me when I'm not looking and I'm not curious and I'm not trying to look for new information. And because I always have a thirst for knowledge, stuff just come my way. I don't have to force it. It just falls in my lap. I mean, I ask for so much knowledge and I get it. And I got so much I can't even get through it all. I literally have to stop one weekend and just read, do some things. Somebody said there's no sound on the phone line. Hang on. Oh, you know why there's no sound on the phone line? Because I'm sitting here talking. Only a couple of people on there. My bad. I didn't open up the mic on the blog talk. I'm so used to live streaming that I just go in. My bad, y'all that's listening. Sorry. By the way, I'm glad you told me that. 563-999-3615 if you want to call in and have a question, any question you got, or just want to share your experience. So you have to take responsibility for your own knowledge. You have to take responsibility for your own mind. You have to take responsibility for your own results. I know some of you have come across misinformation and followed that misinformation and it led you nowhere. And I mean, I had the same experience. And I think getting misinformation can be a positive because it teaches you what not to do. But a lot of our misinformation that some people get can be detrimental to your freedom. For example, stuff like GSA bonds and discharge. That could be detrimental. You can get, serious time fooling around with stuff like that. And I still see people using them and doing it. Now, if y'all don't know that the new SF, I think one of those forms now, they're looking for the bank information on it now. The newer one, the actual financial institution that's for the surety of the individual. They want to know. See, on the old one, it wasn't there. Now it's there. So you're gonna have to do your own studying. You're going to have to start paying attention to what you're doing and stop letting people just tell you something and you run with it. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be handling that problem yourself. And secondly, I know I talk to a lot of people. They want a lot. They want a lot of things. They want wealth. They want peace. They want good relationships. So in order to get any of those things, you have to become those things. You have to be the embodiment of a good relationship. You have to think positive on your relationships in order to get a positive relationship. Too many people are going into relationship with a suspicious mind. And if you have a suspicious mind, guess what you're going to get? You're going to attract more suspicious people to you. All the suspicious people are going to come to you. And then the ones that are not suspicious are going to see that suspicious behavior in you, and they're not going to be attracted to that. And they're going to walk away. You want peace? You have to become the peace. You have to be peace in order to get peace. You cannot expect peace and you're not a peaceful person, or you don't have peaceful thoughts. You want money, you have to become the wealth. You have to believe in the wealth. That Reverend Knight clip that I played, through the blog talks, those who are on YouTube didn't get it. It says, you will never become wealthy or have a lot of money if you're working for money. Money has to work for you. You have to just, you go to a job, you get a paycheck, that's working for money. But if you're not taking the money and putting it in something and making it work for you, like for instance, I'm substantially invested in Bitcoin. I know it's down right now, but I'm holding out because I know it's going to go through the roof by the end of the year. And I'm putting in some money every week towards it and letting it build up. So I'm letting my money work for me. Because I know that right there is going to that's going to make a lot of people millionaires if they stick with it. Some people jumped out when it started dropping and they got scared and they got nervous. But hey, the stock market goes up and down. And now that the bigger banks are getting involved, they're starting to manipulate it. Eventually, it's going to be just like the stock market. Bitcoin is going to be the new gold standard. Because I don't know if y'all looked at that first stimulus bill that came out. They were developing a digital dollar. So if you want to be wealthy, you have to have your money work for you. So that means do your research and study ways of making your money work for you. Another way money can work for you, buying properties and renting them out, buying apartment buildings. And I know that, that could be a substantial investment, but if it's a few of you putting in money together, it can be done. Me and a brother was talking about doing another business. I'm not going to bust it out on here until we get it done. But that reminds me, I need to write that down so I can call that brother tomorrow and talk about that so we can get that going. Start taking your money and have it multiply. Have it circulate. That's how you become wealthy. You're not going to become wealthy with one source of income. You're not going to do it. It's just not going to happen that way. If you talk to people who have become wealthy, they did multiple things and had money coming in from different directions. And that's the only way you're going to receive extreme wealth. And lastly, before I get into the teachings and this thing that I've been thinking about and on my mind for the last couple of days, I did a live video yesterday talking about the guy Kwame Brown and how brothers have to get together. Stop worrying about everybody else. Stop worrying about the Koreans. Stop worrying about the white man. Stop worrying about the system. Stop worrying about the sisters. We need to start getting our stuff together. Because if we have our stuff together, people will follow us. Why? Because when you look at men of color, they dominate, in these sports arenas and anything they touch once they put their mind into it. But it's just a few of us doing that. But now just take that into a business level. We could become the dominating force just by simply saying, I don't need these establishments to create my wealth. We can start pooling our funds together, working together, coming up with contracts that are fair on all sides, put everything in writing. Because a lot of times where we fall out at, we don't put anything in writing. And I know that's an old ancestral thing, handshake thing we used to live by, but we can't live by that anymore because so many people's minds are tainted with all of this, with negativity. We need it in writing to say how things are going to work so no one could be left out or no one could have a misunderstanding as to that contract that we put together. So there's no, well, I thought you said this. No, it's in writing. Now, we don't have to like each other to build a business together. We don't have to love each other and be, visiting each other's houses and all of that. We don't have to do that. I mean, look at all other groups. Most of them don't like each other, but they still know how to do business with each other. And that's our issue. Our issue as men of color, is always one person or two people in the group that want to shine, that want to be, it's me that's doing it. First of all, stay away from people like that. Don't even do business with anybody like that, because those people like that, once things get really good, they're gonna take off into another direction because they're totally selfish and narcissistic. They don't care about how you look. They just care about how they look. So you want to get in business with good brothers that are not looking to show off, and they just want to build a legacy for their family. And there's a lot of good brothers out there that are willing to work with each other. I hear them all the time. I talk to them all the time. Most of the people that come over to this station and want to listen to what I have to say pretty much are like that. Because that's me. That's how I am. So people are attracted to like people. There might be a few in there, but we'll be able to weed them out. We have to stop fighting amongst each other over stupid stuff or small things. Bigger things are at stake here. Our economy is trash as a people. We have a terrible economy. We have a spending economy. We have a deficit economy. We have an economy where our dollar goes to every other group of people except for us for the most part. And I know the sisters, they doing this and doing that. That is true. But listen, if we as men take the lead and take control of that and keep our foot down, they'll come along. And the ones that don't come along, they'll just be over there or somewhere else. We don't need them. This is only for people that want to really do something. Really want to make a change. Stay away from people that sit on their platforms or anywhere and they just talk about other people to make themselves look good. They are not going to lead you to success. They're just looking for their own glory. And that's the problem. We're looking at the bling bling instead of how large that bank account is. Because that's where it matters. That money in that bank is where it matters, because that's going to determine how you take care of your children, where you're going to live, and what legacy you're going to leave behind. We all been through it as a people. Somebody died and they got to scrape up money for the funeral. That's the first thing. Well, how are we going to pay for this? That shouldn't be a problem for us. You know. Let's see. What is the chat saying? We really got to get it together, brothers. If you say we supposed to be the leaders, we're supposed to be in charge, we're the men, then we got to take on that responsibility of securing our financial future. Somebody said, Michael Payne said he's in Dogecoin. I'm just saying this is not financial advice. I would take some of that and throw it in some Bitcoin. I think Dogecoin was a fad, and you might get some more play out of it, make some money on it. But it was created as a joke. But if you look at the patterns of Bitcoin, it follows the same pattern. It'll go up and come back down and settle, and then it just keeps shooting through the moon. It keeps settling back at a higher price every time. So I would, I had Dogecoin. I made the money and got out. Them other coins, the people in the industry that's been around for a while, they call every other coin a shit coin. And eventually, because some of those coins are built on technologies that don't exist, they say, well, we're doing this, and then they don't get those technologies off the ground, and the coin goes to the crap. So, but the only one that is, I think is here for the test of time is that Bitcoin. Cardano, I had that too. I made my money, got out of it too. I went back into Bitcoin. I believe if you're going to get those other coins, those altcoins, get your money, get out. Get your money, get out. Because one day they'll just crap out and you can't get anything. And that has happened. Yeah, brothers, we got to work together, do our thing, man. We have to stop worrying about everybody else. Yeah, I know some of y'all might have sisters that are giving y'all a hard time. Take your focus off of them and put your focus on your pocket. And your mental and your spiritual, your peaceful and financial health. Put your focus on that, and guess what happens? You're gonna vibrate in such a high way that she gonna follow, or maybe she not, but most times they do. If they care, they will. Just do your thing. See, we spend a lot of times trying to get people straight, get them straight. Hey, I need it. No, that's too much focus. I ain't got time to be fixing people. I got to just do what I got to do. And when I put my focus on my business and things like that, life is peaceful. Life is good. I get to do good things. Beth and I went and just took a little getaway right here in Charlotte and had a great time. Ate good food and peaceful. Why could I do that? Because I focused on my business and I focused on trying to change her and little things that I was having issues with. And you start to realize those little issues that you think you have issues with, they're not really issues. They're just mental figments of the mind that you create to make a problem out of. And that's a constant, I'm saying this like this easy. It's not easy. It's a constant work. But you must be mindful of it. Just do your thing, and and you live in a comfortable life and this and that. Listen, man, what woman would not appreciate a man making things comfortable and peaceful? I don't care what kind of hard life they might have had or whatever. Everybody wants peace. For the most part, even though they acting like they don't or behaving in such a way. Right. My brother said I have to remind myself daily to ignore how she treated me and focus on how I'm treating myself. Good one right there. Focus on you. Make sure you are treating yourself well. How do you treat yourself well? By having positive thoughts. Because when you have negative thoughts and you're thinking all these ill will thoughts, that's not treating yourself well. That's putting yourself in stress, in a constant state of negativity, and that's what you're going to attract. All right, remember, 569-999-3615. Call into that number and I will get you. I will pick up the line and we can chat, do whatever. Whoever's on YouTube, that's the number to call. All right. All right, let's get into this lesson of the day. Let's get into this. So let me pull it up. This is Trinity versus Pagliaro. Turn the music down a little bit.
About the law business, the legal industry, is some of the most important things about law are actually so simple that they're easy to overlook. And there are only about 4 very simple truths. And if you know and understand these truths, you will be empowered to win. Here's the first great secret. Where does the court get its jurisdiction? We have a 2-tiered court system. There are the Supreme Courts and their tribunals. There are courts of inferior jurisdiction. When we're talking about Supreme Courts, like the United States Supreme Court and the Oklahoma Supreme Court, where do they get their jurisdiction? They get their jurisdiction because of who they are. But what about these courts of inferior jurisdiction? Where do they get their authority? The courts of inferior jurisdiction are empowered to act by pleadings sufficient to invoke their judicial authority, which means that the people, not the attorneys, the people that walk into that court empower that person in a black robe to be a judge.
Okay, did you hear what he just said? Now, when I play it again, the other guy's going to say, oh, did you hear that? But did you hear what he just said? I've been telling y'all. I've told y'all time and time again, it's all about jurisdiction. And the only way they get jurisdiction is by what you say and what you do. And he said pleading sufficient to invoke their authority. So your paperwork must reflect a pleading or a motion to invoke them to do something. You see what I'm saying? What has happened, and I am partly guilty of this. We have listened to people who we think have authority tell us what this really meant. It's your pleadings, it's your motions, it's what you put on paper that make them do what they do. Lawyers don't have the authority. Let me say this. This is a ministry. This is spiritual teachings. This is not legal advice. If you want a legal advice, go get you a lawyer. There are plenty of them on, if you do 411, whatever, Google search them. There's plenty of them that want your money. But let me just make this clear. It's what you say. So if you're going in there as yourself, propria persona, you're the only one with power in that courtroom, not the attorney. Although they try to play like these attorneys got power, he doesn't have a witness sitting there. He doesn't have a person or the people to invoke the judicial authority of the court. Let me keep going.
Listen closely to what this guy just said. It is earth-shaking and game-changing. It puts the ball in your hands. What is he saying exactly? An injured human being has to show up in court and testify under oath that they have been injured, period. Prosecuting attorneys testify like they are the injured party, and they are not the injured party. They don't get to testify because they are not the ones injured, but they do it all the time because no one puts them in their place. Trinzi versus Pagliaro states statements of counsel in brief or an argument are not sufficient for summary judgment. If the judge doesn't like it, it's too bad. The Supreme Court, this is a Supreme Court ruling, and basically what it's saying is to the lawyer, shut up and sit down. You don't get to testify.
Jurisdiction has four corners on it. It's a four-legged table. And if you take away one of those legs, it's not a court anymore. You win when you know how.
See, once you take that leg away from them, they got no power. And that's why I tell you, see, jurisdiction can raise at any time, even after they rendered a judgment. It's one of the only things you could raise at any time in a proceeding. So if you're jumping out the gate, let's just say it's a foreclosure case. You jumping out the gate and you challenging jurisdiction, they got to prove it. So what happens? Lawyers are coming in there saying, oh, my client is hurt because they haven't paid the bill in so long. Okay, where's the client? Where is the client? Are y'all getting this? Where is he? Where is this client that I can question under oath? Oh, what they'll bring is a bank representative that say they looked at these records, and the records state that this person is this many months and this amount behind. Okay, that's all well and good. That's the type of affidavits they'll have on the record. But if they do that, you have the right to subpoena that person who wrote that statement. But the bigger thing is that the same person that sat across the table from you when you signed those mortgage documents? See, what people are doing, especially in foreclosure cases, they're using these old cases of, well, the mortgage is this and the mortgage is fraud and this and that. They're fighting it that way, and they lose every time that way. Because now you gave the court through your pleading, through your answer, saying that, well, there is a mortgage somewhere. You did sign something that mortgage, and the mortgage note is fraud. You just gave an admission in your case. Instead of just saying motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction, there is no one here that can state a claim sufficiently to win this, for them to get it, to win. Or the other way to say it, there's no one here, failure to state a claim for which relief can be granted. Why do I say failure to state a claim? Yeah, the lawyer made allegations, but who is here officially making this claim? This is why they have to put your name in all caps on that caption. Because what they're not addressing you, they're addressing the estate. And they know the estate cannot speak for itself, so it puts them on equal footing as they are, because they know the bank can never speak for itself. So the first thing you need to be attacking is how they got your name styled in the caption. First thing. See, I got this clearly. I see it, from beginning to end. Because I've been laser focused on this whole jurisdiction thing. He just said the people give them the power of jurisdiction. And see, how the court steals jurisdiction from you is through your own ignorance. You see? See, somebody put in, where are the damages? No, that's the wrong question. Where are the damages? Now you're arguing again. I don't need to argue. All I got to do is say, there is no one here with a proper claim that can walk away with a proper judgment. Until you bring the proper party in here that can be questioned under oath, there is no jurisdiction. There is no personal jurisdiction here. All right, let's keep going.
To invoke the court's jurisdiction when you empower that judge to make the decision that you want that judge to make.
You empower the judge.
That's the second great secret, is the Constitution, state constitutions, statutes, laws, rules. What meaning do they have as you read them in their black and white print? They don't really mean anything except a hint, a suggestion of what the law is. Well, we have a common law system.
Now listen, it's a
The
common law
Supreme Court
system. Let me pause.
tells you.
Now, we common law. Is this common law? Is this common law? You know, these people don't even know what common law mean. That's just running around saying it, because I'm about to read to you what the common law, and he's going to tell you what common law is. But the way he explains it, you can't get confused. But I'm going to take all of that confusion away today. Watch. Let me let him do his explanation.
What that means. To find out what the law is, we have to find out what the Supreme Courts have said that particular law means. Now, that's the second great secret. We have a means of finding out what the law is. It's written down. Where do we find the common law?
Where's the common law?
It's the federal and state annotated statutes.
Did you hear what he just said?
Because,
he said
again,
the common law is the federal and state annotated statutes. This is what he said. And I'm going to read you the definition. See, you had these gurus telling you, oh, is this a common law? Yes, it is, because they're using the statutes against you. But it has to be the annotated ones. That is the real common law. See, they don't even know what common law is, and people are using that in their argument and losing every time. But I'm gonna let me let him finish, and
a secret. They don't want you to know that. If you can read the annotated statutes, now you know what the law is. The state annotated statutes. Those annotated statutes are going to tell me what the law is. But they're going to publish the holding. They're going to tell you the essence of that decision. And that essence of that decision, out of that case, is that one paragraph, that one sentence, or maybe just that one phrase that you need to win, and that's all you need. Trenzi versus Pagliaro is one of the most important cases that has ever been decided by the United States Supreme Court. But Trenzi versus Pagliaro is absolutely earth-shaking. The holding of Trenzi versus Pagliaro, statements of counsel in brief or argument are not sufficient for a summary judgment. Take it to heart.
It's not sufficient for a summary judgment or a motion to dismiss. Now, let me deal with the latter. A lot of times when you guys come into court and you do a suit, they do a motion to dismiss or a summary judgment. A judge can't give them a win on that. And see, a lot of people will argue a summary judgment. Well, it can't be any issues of genuine dispute for them to win. See, now you're arguing with attorney. Remember what he just said. They're the ones making the pleading. Their statements mean nothing because you get the right to question whoever under oath. So they can't even give them summary judgments. They can't give them motion to dismiss if just a lawyer standing there, although they do it all the time. The reason why they get away with it because you don't challenge it. So I know a lot of y'all already have suits going against these people. And the first thing they're gonna hit you with is a summary judgment in their favor or a motion to dismiss. That any good lawyer would do that because it keeps them from having to answer your complaint or delay it. So they'll do that to delay it. And your response is, wait a minute, statement from counsel. It's not sufficient. Because that's what he'll be doing, making statements. And he cannot be a witness. He has to present sworn affidavits and witnesses, sworn witnesses. Those are real evidence. That's evidence. His words are not evidence. You see? See, we still got somebody talking about holding security interests and note the bank is a debit and the assets. Yeah, they do all of that, but you go arguing that stuff in the court, you will lose. See, I don't focus on stuff like that. I focus on one thing. Do you have a right to have me in this courtroom with whatever allegations you have? Let's get that. Where's your jurisdiction to have me here? And who is here that can testify with the facts? And if they don't have that, then there's no need to talk about what they're doing with the note. I don't need to talk about whether they making security interests. It's a waste of time to me. Because if I'm in that stage of the game and I'm arguing that, I've already lost. I've already lost. And see, people are focusing on the wrong thing. It's not about you. And I learned this from a guy who's been doing this for a long time. It's not about you. It's about them proving what they say about you. And if they don't have another individual who witnessed you do anything firsthand, then it's not a fact. Now, before I move on, let's go to this whole. I'll let this play out what he said. Then I'll go to the common law issue and shut all of the so-called people who know what they're talking about down.
Memorize it. Get a tattoo that says it. Because that is one of the most important principles in law. And that is one of the most powerful things that you will ever learn and have to use. That's according to the United States Supreme Court. But that 1/4 thing that has probably been missing 50 million times in this country when we got shafted in the court was a competent witness. Where's the competent witness? That's the 4th leg on that table. That table doesn't have 4 legs. That court did not have jurisdiction. Period. You've got to have somebody at some point in time before the judgment raise their hand and testify under oath and subject to cross-examination, or it's nonsense.
Did you hear him? Somebody got to testify, raise their hand under oath in order for it to be a fact or even presented as fact. Without that, there is no fact. So what happens? Y'all go in a traffic court and you have this district attorney prosecutor on, blah, 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 blah. Wait a minute. Who's here to testify on the oath? Damn sure it can't be the cock. He's a charging officer. He needs another person to substantiate that. Isn't that biblical? It takes 2 witnesses to make a fact. 2 or more. He wrote the ticket. He accused you, but he still can't be a bona fide witness. You need another person. Someone with no vested interest in the outcome. See, a police officer has a vested interest in getting that ticket, that thing won. He's already biased. He's already, out there. Oh, I hope this is coming clear. Let me finish this.
If the other side supports their pleadings with an affidavit, which they rarely do, but if they do, you subpoena that witness because you want to question them under oath. And the idea that is the kernel of truth in Trenzi versus Pagliaro is a thread that runs through everything. criminal, civil. It runs through everything. Administrative. It's got to be
runs
there.
through everything.
It's got to be there. How do I know? Here is a very good statement. And again, this is from an annotated statute. Actual facts, not mere allegations of complaint, are determinative of issue of jurisdiction.
See, actual facts determine this jurisdiction. Actual facts. So if there's no actual, let me just give you another scenario. Say you get sued by a debt collector, but for some reason you don't show up to court. So the judge gets up, the lawyer gets up there and he says, well, he's not here, and they give them the win by default. They can't give him that win by default because they still need actual facts to render a decision. That's a mere allegation if the attorney is doing all the speaking or talking. You can still get that overturned. It's not too late. Remember, I said jurisdiction could happen at any phase. But you have to let them know, well, hey, I'm here now. I whatever reason, there was no jurisdiction for this decision to be rendered in the first place because there was no actual facts. There was no one with firsthand knowledge supporting any of these allegations.
Isn't that what I just said? If there's no witness, there's no facts. If there's no facts, there's no what? No jurisdiction. It's not what I think. I think it, but it's not true because I think it. It's true because it's the law. It's the law because the Supreme Court says yes, you've got to have a competent witness to have that fourth leg on that table, or there's no jurisdiction.
So you get into a courtroom.
There you go, right there. I don't need to play all the other stuff. Now let's go to this common law thing. This is common law. Let me make it big for y'all. Bam. It says, so this is the definition. Common law. Common law is law that is derived from judicial decisions instead of from statutes. So it's the law that case law, basically. Authorities. American courts originally fashioned common law rules based on English common law until the American legal system was sufficiently mature to create common law rules either from direct precedents or by analogy to comparable areas of decided law. In the 2019 Supreme Court case Gamma versus United States, Justice Thomas issued a concurring opinion discussing common law and in particular the role of state decisis in a common law system. Though most common law is found at the state level, there is limited body of federal common law, that is, rules created and applied by federal courts absent by controlling federal statute. In the 2020 Supreme Court opinion, Rodriguez versus FDIC, a unanimous court quoted an earlier decision to explain that federal common lawmaking must be necessary to protect unequally federal interests. Uniquely, in striking down a federal common law rule addressing the distribution of corporate tax refunds. At the state level, legislations often subsequently codify common law rules from the courts of their states, either to give the rule the permanence afforded by a statute, to modify it somehow by either expanding or restricting the scope of the common law rule, for example, or to replace the outcome entirely with legislation. An example that gained national attention was the 2018 California Supreme Court decision in Dynamex Operations, West Inc. versus Superior Court, with articulated and three-part test to determining whether California workers were independent contractors or employees for purposes of California labor law. The California legislature responded by creating a new section of the Labor Code, 2750.3, which codified and explained on the Dynamex holding and went into effect on January 1st, 2020. Note, like many statutes responding to the common law rule, California Labor Code Section 2750.3 specifically mentions the Dynamex holding. So what are they saying? Common law is just simply cases that end up in the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court makes a decision on how that law should be interpreted. That's it. So people have, is this a common law system? Is this and that? And they've used these arguments in their cases and lost bad. Because they don't understand what common law really is. They didn't study. They went to a seminar, they listened to somebody say something, and they ran with it. So in the common law, and they got this case, Trinity versus Pagliari, they got others comparable to that say that actual facts, a witness under oath, an affidavit sworn under penalty and perjury, that's evidence. Eyewitness testimony taken under oath, that's facts. Anything else is nonsense. And too many times we have lost simply because we didn't know that. We didn't pay attention to that. I implore you, I ask that you from here on out study this, pay attention to the cases you got in front of you, and you'll see that, like he said, most times, 99% of the time, they don't have actual facts in front of the court. You make it a fact by what you say. You make it a fact. You give it jurisdiction. You give it life by what you say when you walk in the court. And if you're not questioning everything on that document based on jurisdiction, then you pretty much lost already. Yeah, somebody said something. There's a part 2 to that. I'll look that up, man. I'll do that next week. Part 2. You see? So you have to take the jurisdiction away if you want to win these courts. You have to make them, and see, one of the things that courts, once that jurisdiction is challenged, they have to give you clear answer to why they have jurisdiction. A judge can't just sit up there and say, I have it because of this, that, and the other. You see? So there you go. Y'all let hearsay evidence win. Another thing is hearsay. When they send you those bills in the mail, hey, you owe me some money. That's hearsay too. You have a right to challenge it. That was it. Let me see if anybody had their hand up. Nope, nobody got their hand up. I guess I'll be teaching all too well. Y'all don't have no questions. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Let's see. Y'all gonna let me off early. You know, let's see what's going on. There's just some chit chat about securities. Maxim said there's a part 2. He makes it very clear the county clerk recorded in office and county clerk officer because it's alien custodians property and contract settlements to have a court records. Okay. There you go. Yeah, I gotta look at that. That's interesting. I'm gonna look at that. If I read it and I find it interesting enough, I might just come on this week and teach it. You know, I wouldn't mind talking to this guy if he's still around. Oh, somebody got the hand up there. Let's see what's up. Six 630. Peace.
Hey, peace, God, buddy. How you doing?
Hey, what's going on? Peace, God. What's going on? How
Yeah.
you doing? How's everybody?
Hey, Chuck,
How's that?
I'll tell you, everything's good. Everything's good. How are you doing?
Great. Awesome. Life is
Good.
always good for me.
Very good show again. I think between Rebernack, Neville Goddard, Akiem L, and Dr. Daniels, I'm getting a holistic view of life. You know, I'm finding the invisible within. It's becoming visible within me, and just
Right.
you know, remembering who I am
Mhm.
is a huge component of jurisdiction.
Absolutely.
You know, because the factor of free will, and the fact that we're kind of the I am over our vessel ship,
Mhm.
our body, our little galaxy. It's like they really do have to establish some link of jurisdiction where we've granted our free will to them.
Yes,
And
they have.
they have to prove it. And if
Yeah.
there's no oath, if there's like was it Trenzi Pagliari? If it's just the representation of people representing another corporation, there's
Mhm.
no injured party, and there's no oath, and there's no penalty of perjury, just like you were saying. So there's no fact in the case, so there's nothing to argue. There's only simply
Right.
to question the magistrate or judge: Are you willing? Are you attempting to trespass on a sacred trust?
Well, you
know,
could
I
do
think,
that, but
so,
you
yeah,
won't have to if you challenge
you
jurisdiction
probably don't even have
correctly.
to.
No, you just
Right.
listen. I know that they're trespassing, right? Because they put the name in all caps. So, but I don't bring that out. I just say, listen, I don't have much to say here because there's no jurisdiction here, and here's why. And let them sit there and flail in the wind. But usually what they do when I challenge jurisdiction like that, they change the date of the court date.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It gets
They
moved.
give themselves more time.
Right. Well, they
Yeah.
just don't have the mental capability to fight that, because especially in traffic tickets, they have a system. We give the guy a ticket, we let him plead out at a lesser charge and still get money at him. That's what they're doing. That's their whole program. So you come in and you throw that
sounds
little
like they're
monkey wrench in them. They don't know how to argue that. They're programmed to do
Right,
things
right.
one way.
Right.
You see?
So that's why you think that's why they got that little blue book where they look at it and it ultimately says, okay, if he asks this, say this, and if he asks this, then move the date out and then talk to us. It's kind of like telemarketing almost.
I don't know, but I don't know. I just think they don't know how to fight it.
Right.
Because they're so used to people just come, thank you, Your Honor, for charging me for this ticket like they did a favor,
Mm-hmm.
The whole plan is, okay, get them for the highest amount fee, then come in and plead them down, get whatever we can get out of them and send them on their way. So that system, that's just how it works. They're not trained or used to litigating a case like that when you start talking jurisdiction.
Right.
You see? So they said, well, I got in a courtroom, how many people they're convicting of traffic offenses on a daily basis? 100, 200 cases in a day? One courtroom, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
And they're getting money out of 99.9% of them who they don't care about that one fish that get away. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm going to be that one fish.
Mm-hmm. Smart. Very prudent.
John Doe, you are absolutely wrong. If you a paying person to argue jurisdiction, you have already granted it. That's not true. That's not true. Y'all believe that one. I've challenged it right there in their face. Oh, we need to reschedule this so I can prepare myself. And next you know, the case disappears. Yes. And first of all, if you do your paperwork or ahead of time, you won't have to appear. See, a lot of people are not doing anything before they get to court. They just show up. You lost if you just show up and you haven't entered a proper answer or motion.
If you've done your motion or your precipice to the court and the clerk has it in timely fashion before, then
Immediately.
you're going in with standing, right?
Right. Right. It's not true. If you just show it, see, I never show up there with, court is not, when you go to court, that's the proceeding. That's the hearing. That's not court. What court is the actual paperwork. That's the court.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's where the court starts, right there. But just think about it. You ever get a suit and it says, well, you have 21 days to answer or we're going to enter a default judgment. So if you don't answer, you automatically lose. There's a contract there. So you have to answer. Mm-hmm. You have to do something. A lot of people show up to court. I don't want to give them jurisdiction. And guess what? They get a default judgment against them. And now they have to deal with some. I know plenty of people who have followed that line of reasoning that he just meant it. Don't show up because you giving them jurisdiction. And they go there. And guess what happens? They don't go there. And there's a woman I know lost her children over that. They granted the husband
that's because they've got
custody of the children, and she had to pay child support because she followed what he suggested. Don't go. You go to court. You giving them jurisdiction just by showing up. Okay, if someone brings me into a fight, right? If I'm I didn't want to be there, and I just stand there or I do nothing, and the person is throwing rocks or doing whatever or swinging at me, and I don't defend myself, then what happens? I lose, right? Same thing with a court case. If I don't properly address that issue, even though I know they don't have jurisdiction, I got to put it out there that they don't have jurisdiction. And here it is. Truth is automatic contempt in corporate court if you argue in jurisdiction they trust. Man, misinformation again. He's going to timeout. Timeout. Misinformation. See, he's thinking the same way all of these other guys are doing. He's thinking, if you argue, no, I don't ever get hit with contempt or they don't come at me like that because the way I do the paperwork, it's not. There's no contempt there. I never got threatened with contempt of court. I know people who have, but they go in there with arguments like he suggests. He start talking trustees and corporate this. You start opening your mouth and start talking trustees and calling it a corporation, you're immediately going to get labeled as a U.S. citizen, a sovereign citizen, and then not hearing anything more from you. Yeah. All right, you got anything else? I got another caller.
Yeah, no, that's good, man. I'm just take the other callers. Good talking to you.
All right, thanks. Yeah, I put him in timeout. He giving y'all misinformation. He'll come back in 5 minutes. He going in the timeout room. Just like I don't teach from a place of hearsay. Never did. None of what I'm talking about is hearsay. I got proof. And on top of that, when I had other teammates with me, if you go back and listen to all of those shows, there was only one person who was winning fresh cases and had people coming in and saying they were winning based off my consultation and things I was telling them to do. Go back. I ain't going to sit. Go back and listen. Who was it? There's a whole commercial where that we made over that. So yep, you are absolutely right. He said, Akiem the Dream, I'll put it up. He said, I was in court last month. I didn't write anything before he called me up. I said I want all charges dismissed because nothing is signed in the penitentiary. The judge said I rescheduled. Yeah, you took a big risk there. You better challenge that jurisdiction. But if you write a motion, I can probably settle it before. Yes, that's the problem. You got to tell them. You got to direct that. Since you are the power in the court, you got to tell them what to do. You have to direct them. You know, they don't know what to do if you don't tell them. All right, let's go to the next one. 504-215.
Yo, what's up, my brother?
Hey, what's going on? Peace.
Hey, man, not much, man. Hey, this John, man, back to New Orleans, brother. Oh, I like to say New Orleans all day.
Hey, Nolans, what's going on?
Hey, man, not much, man. Hey, you know that video that you got? Now that's a part one. You probably got that part one right there. By the,
I saw, yeah.
video.
You said it was a part two. I read that, yeah.
Yeah. No, we got part two now, right there. He gonna make it very clear that you could go back on any case, any conviction, anything that happened in that courtroom, because that court is responsible for all judgment, for sentence, for warranty by the judge. That court is called the Alien Custodial Property and Contract Settlement. Now you need to look that up on Title 50.
I already know. I already know what the clerk of court. The clerk of court is a naturalization agent. They have to make you a U.S. citizen to have jurisdiction.
That's right, Bob Bray.
Right.
That's right. But also check this out, Ken. You cannot have a public hospital, a county hospital, or a state hospital in that county without that clerk.
Right.
You cannot have a bridge or interstate or road in that county without that county clerk.
Right.
You cannot have a project to a wealthy neighborhood in that county without that clerk. You cannot have 5 cities or 10 cities with 10 mayors and 100 city councilors in that county. I don't care what city it is, small, big, in that county. Without that county clerk recorded office. You cannot have a judge or a sheriff, a state trooper in that county that's stationed there without that county clerk recorded office. Why? They are the alien custodial property of all contract settlements, no matter what. You see what I'm saying? You go back on the judgment. If you listen to that part too, he'll tell you he went back almost all case. If the case was not filed, they went after the clerk. And trust me, the clerk got in trouble.
So what you saying? He's saying they need to be filed in the county recorder's records.
That's right. You know what I'm saying? No, look. When the city officer write a speeding ticket, that's supposed to be in the courtroom, not on the road. But if you're smart, every county got a small claim courtroom. If you got file your small claim in the county court, you can actually win. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But this I already knew, brother. I already knew this a long time ago. You know, I downloaded that video about 5 years ago.
Yeah, I taught on this
5
years ago. Basically, when we first started, we talked about this case. But I think people didn't get it, and they really don't understand the power of this case, or just knowing. It's not so much that case; it's just knowing what it means.
Oh yeah,
or you at the truck stop or something.
You know, check this out. In July, I'm about to get the business loan. Once I get the business loan, I'm gonna start driving the truck for a month. So what I'm gonna do is go to the county clerk in Orleans and Dallas County. I'm gonna go back and look at old cases. If they're not filed in the record, like the judge took about 10 years, right? If it's not filed in the county clerk recorded office, guess what? That whole conviction is valid. If you pay attention to what he said, if you've been convicted or your house been taken, it's invalid. It was not.
I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm gonna have to look that up. See what that say. All right, I'll do that. I'll do that. And if you know, I'll teach on it.
Oh yeah, but hey, great show, bro. I love your show.
All right,
man.
thank you, brother. Thanks for participating.
Hey, look, I will support your show all the time.
Thank you. I appreciate the support. Thank you. All right, peace, bro.
Anytime, brother.
All right. So someone said, how to deal with cops when they demand your information. If you get stopped for any reason, we are not obligated to give them information, right? It depends. Well, you're really not obligated. That's true. But you just really want to have that argument with them on the side of the road? These cops crazy, man. These cops crazy. Don't do anything to jeopardize your life, bro. Yeah, that's right. Child support, they don't want to see jurisdiction. That's one of the cases that when you say jurisdiction, they run from that. They run from that there. You see? What was that Title 55? I don't know what you mean. Title 55. Man, you talking about what the brother was talking about? He's got a part 2. I left a link to the video in there. So you'll find part 2 through that part 1 that I showed you. I mean, how would you the portable speed cameras? That's another. There ain't no witness. You can win those all day just on jurisdiction. That's how you run it right there. Motion to dismiss. For failure to state a claim for which relief can be granted. All right, people. I don't have any more callers. And I don't have any more to say. I think I gave y'all something to think about. So go study that video and get yourself together. Just to let y'all know, Thursdays is Divine Connection Show with Jessica and Tasia. Sundays is Bathsheba Show, Raising Independent Thinkers. She had a good show last week, or just a couple of days ago. Oh, somebody got their hand up. Let's see. I was putting the outro music. All right, let's see what they want. 682-232.
I apologize, brother. I forgot to raise my hand. I appreciate it.
You good?
Once again, great show, God. Great show. I just had one quick question. I was wanted to ask you. I know you don't necessarily teach recoupment, but I know you had mentioned one time that another brother that you're affiliated with teaches on recoupment, and I would really,
I do kind of in a way. I facilitate the teaching of that through that brother. So in order to get that teaching, you have to be a part of that private membership. And then I give you all of the information. I give you his contact. You go to him, set it up. But we have monthly classes where we do go over that process in the membership.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, yeah, right. I'm trying to work up to it.
Now, if you don't, you're not ready to go that far, you don't want to be a part of the membership, there's a product on my site called the Nationality and Trust. It's webinar. It's $7.99, and it has both showing you how to do the passport, and it has that recoupment process. But it shows you what you can do, but you still got to get with that brother to get all of that stuff done. But
yeah, that would be the thing because Because one more question. I was just want to inquire about your driver license webinar. Just real quick, I see that it includes the templates and I believe videos. Is I'm sure it's super detailed, correct?
Yeah, just like I do my shows.
Yeah,
it's even more detailed because you see the templates. I tell you what to do, give you complete instructions. And the reason why it's detailed because I did it. It's not. See, when you listen to other channels of people teaching, they give you like roundabout answers.
Oh, I know.
Because they didn't do it. So yes, the driver's license webinar is a detailed step-by-step how to go ahead and get your nationality corrected on the driver's license. Yes.
Okay, yeah, because I basically, done some other things where I am pretty much my nationality is changed, name changed, and all that good stuff. But I hadn't went back to basically regain my driver's license, and so I was wanting to inquire about that because I am, I have changed my nationality and all that good stuff. All that's done.
Okay.
All that's done.
All right.
I apologize.
All right.
Okay. All right. Thank you again for your time.
Okay, brother. Peace. Thank you.
All right. Peace.
Peace. Someone said Akiem is limitless. Got my passport back in 10 days. No question asked. Much thanks. Yes. See? Boom. 10 days. record time. That's mostly how people, when they do it expedited, that's mostly how when they get it that fast. Okay, Karen Israel has a question. I have a question. If a person was naturalized into the U.S., where would their records be? Would it be the country you were naturalized in or somewhere else in the state? Depends on which records you're asking about. Your original records of birth would be from the country you were born in. Now, your naturalization records would be, I would say that would be up at the federal level. So you got to go to the agency that you were naturalized through. So it wouldn't be in the state. It is wherever you did the process at. But I think the best question is go to where you were naturalized, that aid office, wherever, and ask that question. Hey, I need some records. Where do I get it? But I think you would get it on the federal level and not on the state level. Yeah. Curtis Williams said appreciate everything. All right, y'all. Everyone. Thank you for tuning in. And if you want to support, because this all of what I do is not free. There's my Cash App, $Akiem. A couple of dollars would help keep this going. But I really thank everybody for tuning in. And until next time, until I just do an impromptu one, I'm probably going to do another. Most likely, I will do another show this week. I got a lot to talk about. I got a lot of records to set straight. And remember, brothers, we need to start working together. Stop hating on each other. You're welcome, Karen. We need to stop hating on each other. Stop worrying about the sisters. They doing their thing. And some of them are just doing it just out of desperation and hard times. They feel like this is all they got. Worry about yourself. Take care of yourself. Make sure your pockets is full. Make sure you have peace and you're exhibiting loving behaviors wherever you go. And guess what? Nothing but good things gonna happen. And you're gonna be attracted. They're gonna be attracted to you by your essence and who you are. You see? Yeah, if y'all want to be notified, hit the bell. If y'all like the show, hit the like buttons. Get it up. We had a nice showing this evening. And I appreciate y'all. Peace.